Hello again, Sith Holocron from the Dongers of Runeterra with another Donger deck discussion. And this time, I really want to try and make the best Lulu deck in the game. And after doing stuff with um, uh, my lovely good friend Shen, and Shen's great, and Shen was great with Lulu, but oh god. So this is my Lulu Shen deck. There's a video on it on YouTube on this channel, and I sort of went with a more sort of you know a decent deck that played really quite well. But like all decks, it wasn't optimized. I think we've now maybe got the optimized one, and this is has replaced Shen, keeping some Demacia things. To be fair, um, but this is the more up to date version, and now um, we are running. Where is my deck gone? Here we go. Here it is. Here it is. We've kept Demacia, but now we've went with Zed, and I just think Zed's brilliant. In like so many instances, Zed's better than so many other 3 drops in the game. Because Lulu and with Zed and a few other people, this becomes just disastrous real fast. I think this is the fastest aggro deck I have ever built. I have won games in turn 4. Like I've seen concedes in turn 3. This deck's got everything, but the number one thing to remember about this deck by an absolute street is if you don't have a 1-drop, hard mulligan everything. The only people you keep that aren't 1-drops is Lulu or Zed. Even if you get Zed, you never get rid of Lulu. Lulu is just far too good. You only have to support 3 times. So I went back and I went through up here by typing in this, which is how I build most of my decks. And all of these say support. Now, I haven't put picks in. I haven't put Herald of Spring in, but I have put all these other people in, which is kind of fantastic in every way, shape, and form. So here is the new Lulu Demacia aggro deck. And here we go. So remember, one rule only. Well, there's 2 rules, but the most important rule is get a 1-drop. That's what we need. And then we need to go into normal Demacia type ramp. So play something on 1, play something on 2. Look at all this. There's 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 14, 17, 20, 22, and they're all under 2 mana. So half the deck doesn't cost 2. You will be having so many units and so many things to level up, that actually becomes the problem. That it's very hard to decide which one needs the buff, which doesn't need the buff, which is the best one to buff it. But when you get it, it's the nicest thing in the world to have, to be able to take that extra 5-6 seconds to put them in the right order to literally just win the game. I don't think I've went over turn 7 playing this version of Lulu. So we went for 1-drops. Cithria of Cloudfield is a super 1-drop, as is Fleet Feather Tracker. We all know, I mean, this is my first deck that doesn't really have like any Targon in it since the expansion. This is fantastic. It is just fantastic. Grant Challenger, grant this, do all that. They are superb. But we've put in the new Ionia cards, and this, oh my god, what a card this is. Flower Child, when I'm supported, grant me +2/0. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So we've went away from other sort of cards that would have been kind of good. So like for instance, let me discard this a second and go back into Shen. This card, the Caretaker, is only really good with Shen, but we're not running Shen. So that's why she has been instantly replaced. And now we are back to this. And we replaced it with a Fleet Feather Tracker because there are going to be people supporting things, and Cytherea is a good thing, and that is another support that gets it when it's supported. So each one of these are your enabler cards. Your enabler cards are something that you want to play in round 1. You've got 9. In fact, technically, with the next 2, you've got 11 1-drops, which is just what? And then you've also got 11 2-drops. Do we have any more than that? No. We have 14 2-drops. Cheapest ships to play. Units everywhere. I'm buzzing because I just think this is a great deck. This is brilliant when you support it. So now it's a 3-2. And it's grant me 2-0. Okay? So can you imagine putting the War Chefs on, which gives a 1-1. So that's now a 2-3. And then it becomes another 2. So now it's a 4-3. And then it'll stay a 4-2 if it's not stopped. That's brilliant in every way, shape, and form. Same with this. It becomes a 3-2. You know, that's now a 3-3. All these are all good, but we have so many options here. It is terrifying. Rangers Resolve to give all allies tough this round. It's only a 1-of, but can absolutely save the day. Never needed to use it, but having 1-of, it sounds pretty good. And then we have a 1-of Rush, which is pretty much all you need, to be honest. Because it gives an ally +1, it's burst, which means it is always going to go through, and you get quick attack, which will also keep your little flower child or your Fleet Feather Tracker or whatever it happens to be alive. So the 1-drops, hugely important early game, as are your 2-drops. I'm actually going to bring them all the way down here so we've got them all. Blinding Assault brings you Valor. So this is Quinn's spell. That's the level up. He summons this beautiful Challenger and Scout. So good. But it's only the 1-of. You know, that is pretty much all it is. But we're running 3 of them. Because that's going to pull something away that you want rid of. And yes, it's only a 2-1. But we're not going to really be scouting that much. But we can. Because if we have Lulu out, well then Lulu, you know, makes that a 4-4. And that'll kill things. And that's sometimes worth just doing. To get rid of, oh, I don't know, a Zed, a Quinn, a Yasuo, a Lucian, a Fiora. And it's Challenger, so you can pick whatever you like out of it. Even if it doesn't work and they manage to barrier it up or give it some extra stuff with twin disciplines or single combat. There's always ways and means, as we all know, to stop our favourite characters and especially our champions dying. But this is such a great, great, great card. That's why we're running 3 of. Bright Steel Protector is fantastic. A 3-2 for 2 mana is brilliant, and then also give a barrier this round. So if you have this on 2 and barrier these guys, I mean, wow. I mean, you're just looking so good. On the Fleet Feather Tracker is bog standard Demacia. Same with this. But like on the Flower Child, it's really good. It won't get the support, but it's not going to die either. You know, on round 2, most things aren't going to kill a Bright Steel Protector. We also are running 2 single combats. But Sith, you say, always run 3, it's a no-brainer. Well, it is a no-brainer as a 3-of, unless you can put in other really good cards. And for instance, this is the card that replaced the 3rd single combat, but we'll get to the fuzzy in a wee minute. So, we're running 2 single combats. We're also running 2 War Chefs, so if you've ever played with or against Demacia, you know that it gives the +1/+1. And this, I think, it's a total staple. Common card, Young Witch, give my supported ally quick attack and +1/0 this round, which is essentially this. So that 1-cost burst spell is inbuilt into the Young Witch. So for instance, we could throw out a War Chefs, to give it +1/+1. That then gets +1/+1. And then if we had a Cytherea, the Young Witch is giving it +1 and quick attack, so she's now a 3-2. You see where all this supporting stuff comes in, and it's really, really cheap. Makes it even better But now we're going to hit like the main parts of the deck that are just heartbreaking by the time you get to the turn 4 or 5. Lauren Projet, another challenger. I've taken some of the stuff from the Misfortune Scouts that I think is really quite good. Again, he's only a one-off because I pretty much want to use him to take something across and whack it. Just whack it. If he dies, he dies. That's brilliant. But again, don't forget our other 3 drops. We have Zed that summons an attacking living shadow that's ephemeral, that will die, that's horrible. He's brilliant. It's an extra unit for free that would cost 3. Things are going out all over the place. The only thing is you can't buff this up with anything at all. Unit-wise, doesn't matter. If you can buff this guy up, he takes the same stats as him. So for instance, if I put Lulu into him, he's now a 4-4. This is now a 4-4. Brilliant. Just brilliant. She is rapidly becoming one of my favourite little pixies in the entire game. My supported ally grows up to 4-4 this round. Now, making this the Young Witch, the 1-1 into a 4-4 elusive is probably your early doors game plan. Keeping a couple of single combats to the side should anybody try and be doing anything that isn't a spell that's going to ruin this young lady's career. But Lulu is so good at doing everything else. You know, this is now a 2-4, that's now a 4-4, that's now a 4-4, Zed is a 4-4. Lulu has got so much versatility, so much flexibility, so much adaptability that she, for 3 mana, adds the 2-3. She can even survive being Mystic Shotted and keep her as the 2-1. That is absolutely fine. But can you imagine dropping this down and then dropping that down and then Brightsteel protecting Lulu, who's then hitting the Young Witch, and then you put out Zed last, which then brings out your other one, and they're all quick attack with 1 extra. It's good night. I mean, it is literally good night when that starts to happen. Relentless Pursuit is also in this. Because of all the quick attacks, because of all the challengers, because of all the scouts, because of all the cards that I have described earlier in this video, this can just win the game. Drop the 3. It's a slow spell. It was always being played as a slow spell anyway. And then rush out if you've got enough and you've taken out all those characters and just literally rally and attack again and win. But it is still only a 2 of. Because I wanted one of these, and this guy is just epic. Look at him. He is just so good. Oh my god. The purple fae folk are sweet little creatures and cared for by all those who encounter them. Well, almost. Because what this geezer does is, when I'm supported, give me 3 more health this round. But if I support... But if you use this as a support, I should say, give my supported ally +3 power this round. And this is where I'm trying to get to grips with this guy only costs 4. And he's buffing health on 1. He gets health if he's supported. He's not going anywhere because he's a big, beefy, purple-eating thing. And then the other person gets another 3? No. Really? Yes, really. I'm pretty sure I only own one of these, and I do. If I had to, I would possibly run 2 of these. I'm going to run this as it is and just see if the 1 is enough, because I think 1 is probably enough. But if I was going to run 2, I may... Don't want to really take anything from here, but there's a conversation for having 2 of these instead of maybe 2... Well, no, to be fair, I'd probably drop Lauren Protege. I'd either play Lulu or Relentless Pursuit or that. I think this could go, and a second fuzzy caretaker could be excellent. He's just cool. He's just a cool guy. And then Laurent. House Laurent. The Blade Keeper that grants an ally a permanent 2 buff on both sets of stats. Yeah. At that point, it becomes absolutely stupid. And on round 4, if you want to drop that for the permanent buff onto something like Zed or Lulu or the young witch, whatever it happens to be, that's normally the point you get concedes coming in. And as if that isn't bad enough, yes, we're only running 2, but twoing at once is normally enough. They're normally down to about 6 health and crying. We're running Genevieve. Another Scout Challenger, 5/5, and when summoned, everybody gets another +1/+1. So this is my much more improved Lulu deck. As you can see, it's Demacia Ionia. No Targon. If you're not that impressed with Targon, well, I think you're mad, because I think it's a brilliant new region. This is really good, and it's a lot of fun to play. So that is the deck code I've just clipped. Thank you very much for watching the video. As I say, my name is Sith Holocron. The deck code will be in the pinned comments underneath. So we'll have a free invite to the Dongers of Runeterra Discord, where we have leagues and cups and prizes and God knows what else. Non-stop chatting about Runeterra and just good old general stuff in the main, but all in good humour. So thank you very much for watching. Thumbs up and subscribe, please, makes a heck of a difference. And until we see you in the next one, thanks for watching. Dongers out.